friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I'm excited to show kind of an update. About a little over a year ago I just moved into this house, and I did a little video showing it right after I painted it and kind of moved in, and kind of showed a quick tour of the game room right after I painted the graphics and the walls and put my shelves up and all that. But I thought I'd take a few minutes and show an update. I've been slowly working on it, getting analog TVs, slowly picking up more games and getting my game room organized to where it functions good. And I can find everything and everything looks nice. I like everything kind of neat and clean and organized. And I've seen so many wonderful game room videos from my friends here in the States and abroad that have done some wonderful upgrades on their game rooms. I'm always inspired to see how other people do their game pickups and how they set up their game room, how they show off their collections, that kind of thing. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and show my gaming setup, where I game in my living room, the actual game room itself, and even my little PC area, and show you some of the things that I've got in store real soon here, that I'm slowly getting everything up to speed, got my new PC and all that. So anyway, I'm going to just do a quick tour of my place and just show, you know, Dean's little man cave in the way of the game room and where I game and all that. So starting off, I'll show my where I spend most of my time. When I'm too tired after work to come home and game, I'll quite often just put on my computer setup and my Facebook and check on my YouTube videos and watch my friends' vids. So this is where I spend a lot of my time with my I have a brand new Asus AMD 10 computer, which I just finally have here with a backup. And I got my little subwoofer and all that stuff down there, the rat's nest of wiring. Vinny gets in there all the time and turns off my computer, so I always get nervous about having it fully exposed. But here's my new Coca-Cola lamp. Picture of San Francisco, which is 90 minutes away from here. And I've been talking for a while now about setting up my PVR. Well, I finally bought this little stand here to put next to my desk, and I finally have a nice little 26-inch Insignia TV that we picked up at Best Buy, which was in my wife's workout room. And then I got her a new Samsung, a 32-inch, and she gave me this one to use for my desk for gameplay. So now I have my Hauppauge HD PVR2, which I'm anxious to hook up, and then I can just put a console right here or on my desk here, and I can record all my gameplay and then process it and put it right into my PC, so I can edit it in my Sony Vegas. Here's one of my car paintings. Let me back up a little bit. I do these kind of 3D paintings, and contour cutout paintings are actually 2D. And I put that up over my wall of a 2010 Grand Sport Corvette. There's good old Humphrey Bogart and Key Largo. You'll see this in the Sopranos TV show too. They'll usually show this in the background when they show their entertainment room. And here's my old cat Max that passed away. I put a picture of him there. But I'm anxious to get this all set up. This is the next phase. I just need to download the software from the PVR2, and then I can get in and start recording gameplay and have a little bit better quality than the Fred Flintstone method of filming in front of the TV. So going from my desk, I'll walk through the kitchen here. I've showed this kitchen before. This is just it's a small kitchen, but it's nice, it's cozy and comfy, and it's where we make all of our great food and snacks for when I'm watching movies and gaming and what have you. And this is our living room, which I've showed before. It hasn't changed too much. I'm going to do a faux finish over these walls. I just haven't got around to it yet. It's one of those projects that I haven't done. I'm going to also paint my kitchen cabinets. But I completely painted this house. I mean, all the ceilings, walls, closets, floors, baseboard, trim, everything right before we moved in just a little over a year ago. So this has been a long time coming, and been anxious to get to see this finally get finished, this whole place. So it's been, you know, it's one of those projects that it takes time. I paint for a living, so the last thing I want to do is come home and do more painting at times, but at the same time I want to live comfortably. So this is our section where we spend a lot of time watching movies, and here's my coffee table here, my gaming setup. Here's my old 2009 Samsung, which we've had for quite some time. We've been looking at new 60-inch and 65-inch TVs, including those new curved 4K ones and what have you, but I'll probably wait until next year before buying a new tube, but I'm always interested to see the new technology and talk to people about the LEDs versus the plasmas and all that. But this has been such a great TV. I just don't have the heart to get rid of it yet. I'm still concentrating on getting the remaining of my retro consoles and what have you. So this is where I spend most of my time here gaming. I've got my PlayStation 3 and 4 controller, my remotes and what have you, some old school Hawaii Five-0 DVDs, which I watch a lot of old TV shows at night, and there's my new Xbox 360 controller. Down below I have, which I'll have this whole setup put in my other game room, but I have a little piece of plywood cut out and painted, and on there I have my Xbox and PlayStation 2. So now I have the composite cable set up for both consoles, so I can play them in HD on my new TV. I have a really nice Sony amp down below. It's probably hard to see. This thing cranks. These speakers are $850 each. I bought these back in like '96. They're really expensive acoustic response speakers. I haven't taken these covers off in years. You can adjust the treble and bass. It's cranks. In fact, on New Year's Eve, we had I played Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4, and I was afraid my neighbors were going to call the SWAT team in because it was so loud. But this old Sony amp cranks. You can see I've got my brand new Xbox 360e model, and then I've got the PlayStation 4 right above it, which is on standby presently. Then I have a Panasonic Blu-ray player with the PS3 Slim above it. So I've got pretty much all of my consoles that I use in here, and again with the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. So this has been a really reliable setup. I've spent a lot of time in here. I like it to have it cozy. I got my little Christmas lights. I still kind of leave them up year-round around the mantle, and my ficus tree here. But it's a cozy living room. We have a lot of fun here, and I spent a lot of time hanging out and living here. It's a small house. It's probably about 1,400 square feet, but it's a lot of fun, and I really do enjoy it quite a bit. Coming down the hallway here, my wife has a little workout room, and I put a new Samsung TV up there on the wall. We've got our master bedroom in there, and then in here I have my game room. This is where I walk into my game room. I got lots of old movie posters. I've got so many. Most of them are put out in the garage. I don't have room for them, but I put as many as I can in here. So this is my new addition right here to the game room. Many of you have seen, my set and all this stuff, and I got my analog TVs, which I picked up earlier this year down below. I keep a lot of storage and extra accessories, gaming accessories, controllers, wires, memory cards, and what have you in this little bin. I've got all my Game Informer magazines, pictures of my cats that passed away a few years ago, another Budweiser sign, Mr. 3 Good Wrench, a little cutout there. This is the wall where I do all of my car paintings at, which I haven't utilized yet. There's Vinny's little original cat condo. We bought him a new one, which is over by my desk, but he uses this. He loves to come in the game room. This is as much his room as mine. But anyway, then I got a 1950 Westinghouse radio with a 1950 Merc chopped on top. A couple little lights and things. It's cozy in here at nighttime. There's Yoda, which is usually on my set. A couple of my die-cast cars. My 60s Budweiser sign on tap. I've got, it's hard to see with the glare, but I've got a Alfred Hitchcock rear window poster. I swapped out my Touch of Evil Orson Welles poster for this one. This is a fantastic movie. In fact, I just picked this up on Blu-ray, and I'm anxious to watch it. Here's my little Star Trek picture, which I got recently at a neighbor's. Got a really good deal on that, autographed by James Doohan. This is the original 2003 Roadkill special order, pre-order, for in 2003. In October, Roadkill came up from Terminal Reality, and they give you this actual embossed license plate. It's actually really embossed. You can feel the ridges and the letters and everything. In fact, I put this on my Bronco for a while and took pictures of it. I had a big lifted Bronco. And there's my autographed Robert De Niro picture from the Heat movie in 1995. I was very fortunate to get a nice autographed picture from Robert De Niro. One of the finer little perks I got from working in the movie industry. And there's my Crockett and Tubbs. Tubbs with his Mac 10, and Crockett with his Beretta. Mark Bussler, Classic Game Room, sent me this for Christmas a few years ago, which was a real treat. I really appreciate this. He knows how much I love the 2600 and wanted one when I was a kid. These are some of my Xbox 360 games, and then I have some other Xbox original games, followed by some PlayStation 2 games. And there's my Mustang and Steve McQueen from Bullet. A couple of the Little Gremlins. My favorite TV show on DVD. In fact, these are on the HD DVDs as well. On the flip side, are the Star Trek with my little gremlin there, which is pretty cool. I've got some PlayStation 3 games right here, followed by some more Xbox 360 games and my collectible Max Payne 3 statue. If you haven't played Max Payne 3, do yourself a favor, pick it up and play it. It's fantastic. It's an incredible game. One of the best third-person shooters I've ever played, yet is still in keeping with the old Max Payne and the bullet time deals. There is my Tall Box Twisted Metal game, which I bought back in '95. Was the first game I bought for my PS1, and I went and found a perfect mint condition Tall Box. In fact, I also have my SOCOM game, which had the original headset that you could talk into and command your guys. I got that behind it. So this kind of shows some of the things on my shelf, which you've seen before. There's some more PlayStation 1 games, followed by all of my Grand Theft Auto Vice City CD box set, which I'm really excited about. And then I get more Xbox 360 games, the Charger from the movie Bullet. You can even see the assassin inside with a shotgun on his lap and the driver. I love those. But anyway, here's some more Xbox 360 games. I got Arnie from Predator there with his good bud Duke Nukem next to him with a PS1 behind it. And then I have my PS4 games. I don't have too many, but I'm slowly building a collection of PS4 games. I'm kind of near the end of Wolfenstein. I got sick and kind of stopped playing it, but I'm anxious to finish the last 2 or 3 levels. And then I have a few more PlayStation 3 games underneath. So I've had these shelves for some time, and I've kind of outgrown this. And of course, there's my little handmade sign, which you can see is cut out of a thickness of an edge of, it's a piece of plywood. And I cut that out and hand painted this logo on there. There's my chair and table. I have a mirrored closet in here where I've got all of my, in fact up here you can see I've got all my TV shows on DVD. These are just television shows alone, and behind each of these rows is another full row. So there's hundreds of TV shows up on those shelves in 2 layers, followed by all my cheesy t-shirts and what have you that I wear in my show. This is the new edition of the game room, which I'm really excited to show. Here's a Last of Us special edition box, which came with a gorgeous art book. But my friends told me to go ahead and go to IKEA and find a good deal on a bookshelf. So I found this killer deal, and I just built this yesterday and assembled this whole bookshelf from IKEA, which is wonderful. And I can put all my consoles and my strategy guides and everything behind there. It's really cool. So I've got up here, I got just a couple TV shows. Like one of my favorites is Starsky and Hutch. I have all 4 seasons. I've got some wonderful Xbox original games, which I'm delighted to have up here now on display, which is cool. I just picked this up recently. I have the Mad Max Blu-ray trilogy, and then right behind it, I have more PS1 games. Jet Moto and Critical Depth and Tomb Raiders and stuff like that. So, and then I have the wonderful box set, kind of an iridescent box, but really cool, of the Twilight Zones. I've got all of these remastered with behind-the-scenes stuff, and those are all on DVD. Down below, I got my Aliens Colonial Marines statue, which I love. I have the little box from my Grand Theft Auto 5 Special Edition. And it came with a beautiful art print as well, which I love this. I kind of put this as a little centerpiece. I can't wait for this game to come out on the PS4. It's going to look fantastic. And I'm giving my friend Gary my original copy in the steel box of Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox 360. A friend of mine in Canada sent me these wonderful Steve Brandon, who's a huge contributor to Classic Gamer, by the way. And he knew how much I love Miami Vice, so he sent me not one but both of these Miami Vice Special Edition Hot Wheels of the original Daytona Spider Ferrari, followed by the gorgeous Testarossa, which came a couple seasons into the show. So I'm really delighted with those. I have this little collectible from Twilight Zone TV show from the 60s, the episode that had William Shatner putting his whole future on on the line by plugging more change into this and asking for his fortune, which is one of my favorite episodes. And then, behind it I've got all my games, my Xbox 360 games. They're in no real order. I probably should organize them. I just kind of threw them all up here. So I'll get games, on both sets of shelves, but these are all my Xbox 360 games. Many of these I have installed in my new hard drive of my Xbox 360 E-model. There's my Duke Nukem special little bust that I got for ordering the Duke Nukem Forever Collectible Edition box set. Here's my extra PlayStation 3 controller. I've got another backup Xbox 360 controller. Now I can finally display. I already have one, PlayStation there, and I had another one that came in a briefcase in mint condition. So it's nice to have a PS1 on display here. I have a tall box of one of my favorite games, and one of the first games I bought for my PS1, which is Agile Warrior, a must-play game. You could even put your own custom soundtracks in. This is the first game that I could do that, was Agile Warrior. And I got a tall box of Destruction Derby as well in the back. One of my favorite Xbox original games, Freedom Fighters, which is wonderful on the PS2 as well. I have an Xbox, I actually have two Xboxes. One's out by my TV, which I just showed. This one is another one that's in absolutely mint condition that came with a blue controller, and it works wonderful. So I'm really delighted to have my consoles on display. And then later I'll probably rearrange some of the stuff and then put my Super NES and Sega Genesis up here as well. Down here I've got all my Blu-rays, and I just put a couple in the front here, but you can see, I don't know if you can see all the titles, but I've got quite a few of these. My Blu-rays I'm slowly collecting. I've got over 5,000 DVDs and VHS tapes. This is one of my favorites, this Planet of the Apes box set. Behind that, got the Descendants, Prometheus, the whole Underworld box set, and just a bunch of random favorites. These are ones that I just absolutely had to have on Blu-ray. I'm going to mostly collect like big blockbuster films, the Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and stuff like that eventually. Here's an Alien trilogy. It's actually the UK version, but it looks and plays identical to the US version with all the behind-the-scenes stuff. That very first Blu-ray I bought was Predator 1, 2, and Predators. And I have those here. Some John Carpenter, Escape from New York. One of my favorites, as you can see. And I have Escape from LA. Not as good, but I still enjoy it. And just a good variety of The Fog, another one. I just recently went up to the lighthouse and found the lighthouse from the movie The Fog. Drive, a fantastic movie. Director's cut of Payback. Terminator Salvation. I just got some Woody Allen films recently. The original Star Wars trilogy. I need to get the other Star Wars one too that has the newer 3 films. And the Rambo, the whole Rambo trilogy I just recently picked up as well. First Blood, Rambo 2 and 3, and then the other Rambo film they did recently. Then down below I've got all of my, these are all of my strategy guides. I've got tons of these. I've gotten rid of a bunch of them over the years, but starting with Alan Wake, and I've got Deus Ex Human Revolutions, which I'm anxious to start. I've got that in my hard drive and can't wait to play it. Bioshock Infinite Special Art Book that came with a special edition. Duke Nukem Forever, really nice hardbound art book strategy guide. And then I have all of my other, Brady Games guides and a bunch of the Prima strategy guides as well. I even have a few of the old gen, PlayStation 2 and Xbox original strategy guides, which are, some of them are right here. There's a very unusual Battlefield Bad Company 2 strategy guide, which is much smaller. And then I just recently picked up this wonderful Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix, which is a smaller guide as well, but it's a really good strategy guide. So I love picking up strategy guides. I got my Grand Theft Auto limited edition strategy guide. Underneath I've got the Batman Arkham Origins and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is what this one is right here, strategy guide for my PS4. And then I have the wonderful art book, The Art of the Last of Us, down below from Dark Horse. So I'm really happy to finally see this game room coming into fruition. It's been a long dream. Behind my door here, I have, I ordered this from Australia. This is an original print of the movie The Car from the mid-70s. And I met George Barris, who actually gave me a photograph, several photographs of this car in production when he was working on it. So this is my little game room. It's very simple. It's a small room, but it has everything that I need and want. You can see that I finally have a place now for all my games, which I'm delighted. So, and then sometimes I'll put some consoles and things up on this table here. I use this for whatever I'm working on presently, or games that I'm going through, strategy guides, whatever I've got currently, going on. I'll usually put out here and look through them. So it's nice and cool in here in the summertime. This is the coolest room in the house, so I love this little game room. And I'm delighted to finally have it completely done and to where I can enjoy it. So I just thought I'd wrap this up and give you guys a little brief look into the life of how an older caveman, old school gamer, lives, and how he games and where he games and all that. So it's my little update. Maybe a year from now I'll do another one, but I always enjoy your updates and to see your game rooms and collectibles. It's a big treat for me personally, so keep showing those videos. I love to see other people's collections and to show the things that are important to them as a gamer. So thanks so much, guys. That's my. So hope you enjoyed my little game room vid. I just wanted to kind of show how it's coming along. I still need to pick up that Panasonic 3DO, the Super NES, and a Sega Genesis this year. And I'll be looking at those probably near the end of the summer, by the fall, and there somewhere, probably just a handful of games for each one. I also just picked up the brand new Trials Fusion for the PlayStation 4, which I'm really excited to play this. So this is going to be a really cool game. I love the Trials HD and Trials Evolution off Xbox Live Arcade, so I'm really excited to play this with even better graphics on the PlayStation 4. So anyway, that's my little gaming setup video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm always inspired to see your pickup videos, your game room improvements, showing your collections and what have you. It's a real inspiration. So all of you guys, enjoy your collecting, enjoy your retro games, enjoy your new games, just enjoy life in general. That's what it's all about. Thanks.